KFGO News Center. More news with him coming up in about 20 minutes from right now. I was trying to tell Paulie that Wild Women Do from the Pretty Woman soundtrack was Natalie Cole. He kept on insisting it was Patti LaBelle.
You are such a liar.
I had to say, Paulie, I know my Pretty Woman soundtrack, mister. So
Apparently you don't.
Actually, I got it backwards. That's Natalie Cole there with the Wild Women Do, which takes us to our interview here this afternoon, and that is Erin Prochnow, who is the CEO of the YWCA. And the reason we're talking to Erin today is because 40 inspiring women and exceptional organizations will be in the spotlight as the YW of Cass Clay hosts its 48th annual Women of the Year Awards event. The nominees were out last week, and that takes us to talking to Erin Prochnow again today. Hi, Erin. How are you doing?
I'm great. Hey, Dan. How are you?
I'm doing just super. Thank you so much for joining us today. So this list of ladies is very impressive. I want to talk about it in just a second. But Erin, you've had your shot. You got your inoculation for COVID, right?
I did, Dan. I did. I'm one of the fortunate ones who received it in a category of 1B, providing services in a communal living environment. And so we were on that prioritization list, and our whole staff team had the ability, if they selected, to be vaccinated, along with women in our shelter.
And how did the experience go? Do you have any problems?
I've just been so impressed this whole time throughout this COVID pandemic with our local officials, both at the city level and at Fargo-Cass Public Health. The coordination and cooperation that they've showed, not only with us at YWCA, but all of the local shelters serving those facing homelessness in that communal living environment, has been one that's been very difficult, where there's, shared kitchens and shared restroom facilities, and, the testing availability that's been presented to us has been extraordinary. I was on the phone today with one of my counterparts in Salt Lake City, the CEO of the YWCA in Salt Lake City, and she hasn't had the same great fortune of having public officials with public health and their county and city be so engaged serving the homeless population. And I just feel really grateful. So sorry to carry on about that, but huge shout out to them and the work they do.
Absolutely. Paulie had his last Wednesday. I'm having mine on Thursday. And so I guess we're all kind of keeping up to date on how everybody's shot goes, their inoculation, because we're all wondering if there's any kind of side effects or anything like that. And you said you were just a little tired, right?
Right. I was fortunate to have the Pfizer vaccine and did as they instructed and had a couple of weeks in between. And I was a little tired, but otherwise I feel great, and hope we can get to a point where we can all gather again safely in the not too distant future. What we're talking about today with Women of the Year, usually we gather, over 900 people in a room to honor the 40 nominees at our Women of the Year Awards. And this year it's going to look a little different, Dan. We're going to have the nominees and 5 of their guests at tables, individual tables, so a table of 6 people spread out in a room that's really for 900 people. So we're not going to have probably about 250 people in the room, but there's an opportunity for the public, which is why we're talking today, for folks to purchase a virtual ticket and wonderful packages that go along with that can be picked up and to view from home this 48th annual Woman of the Year. It's a little different than usual, but hopefully by next year we can get back to a time where we can all gather and have nearly 1,000 people in the room. But some health professionals are indicating that this year's just not maybe quite the time quite yet.
I got you. Still, this event will probably be about 10 times better than last night's Grammys. It's going to be coming up on April 26th, and to best adhere to safety recommendations, the YW is going to host nominees and their guests in person while welcoming the rest of us virtually. And so there's a number of different things. And so since we're going down that road, let's wrap that part up right away here. You can get a virtual viewing ticket. You can get a party for 2 package, a watch party package for 5, and if you'd like, you can even sponsor it. Erin, walk us through these things. Virtual viewing ticket.
Absolutely. We've equated one night of shelter, that first night of shelter at YWCA for a woman or child, to $44. And so we've set that virtual viewing ticket at $44, representative of what that first night of safety costs. And while we're in the business of honoring women and empowering women, a way in which we do that is by hosting this event. And again, for the 48th time, I just can't believe it's been that long. And at the same time, all of the proceeds from the event on April 26th go to support the state's largest shelter serving women and children escaping violence and homelessness, where that ticket, that virtual viewing ticket, equates to that first night of shelter at $44. So it's a meaningful number to us, and allows you to be able to watch right from your home screen, whether that's your computer, whether that's your TV, watching in that way, however works for you.
Now, and you've got the Party for 2 packages, you've got a Watch Party package for 5, and these come with some fun extra things in their package, right?
Absolutely. We're partnering with a local organization, Milkmaid, where she just produces these amazing charcuterie plates. And so we're purchasing some of those to go along with the Party for 2 package, the Party of 5 package, and those sponsorships. They'll be paired with amazing desserts and a bottle of wine or a couple of bottles of wine, depending on the package that folks purchase. So we're trying to make it fun and still honoring women, whether that's in the room, if you know someone personally and it'll be at that table, or if it's viewing virtually. But we're just so hopeful that the community at large comes out and supports women who are just really transforming our community and contributing in significant ways each and every day right here in the Fargo-Moorhead and greater Cass and Clay communities. Women
like Dr. Roxanne Newman, Sally Jacobson, Pat Fredrickson. I know you probably know a ton of women that are on this list. What's the purpose of highlighting these women, Erin Prochnow?
Our goal at YWCA is to empower women and make certain that their accomplishments are recognized right here in the community. And for far too long, women's accomplishments hadn't been recognized. And so our organization sought out a way to do so, and has done so for, this will be the 48th annual. And so our goal is to lift up their accomplishments, to celebrate them, to honor them, all while being mindful that there's a whole other group of women on the other side of the community who aren't going to be in the Delta that evening, or probably viewing from their computer screen, but needing to seek safe refuge at YWCA. And we want to empower all women. And so we believe that this event is a way of lifting up accomplishments and at the same time bringing attention to those in our community who need our help and support.
Erin Prochnow is the CEO of the YWCA. We're talking about the YWCA Women of the Year nominees, the banquet that is coming up on April 26th. So, Erin, you're so well-spoken. I really want to ask you, what does it mean to achieve this great honor? It's something to be nominated, but to become one of the YWCA's Women of the Year, what does it mean to achieve that honor?
When I stand in that room, and it's coming up on, and I'm going to date myself here a little bit, Dan, but I'm coming up on 13 years at YWCA in April, and prior to that had volunteered on the Women of the Year committee as a committee volunteer, and how I became engaged. And what I would tell you is when you stand in that room and you hear what women are doing and giving selflessly of themselves, big and small tasks, these are people who are working in front of folks sometimes and very public, and other times are the behind-the-scenes folks just getting it done. And so we want to honor them and make certain they're recognized. And I think what I've heard over the years that it means to women when they're honored is that they're humbled, and they often say, I can think of a million other people that are deserving of this honor. I can't believe you're recognizing me, and are very, very humble in their approach and sort of surprised that someone's willing to recognize them. And so we're honored to be able to be honoring women for 48 years in our community and their accomplishments and all they bring to the community. And I think that it's part of our responsibility at YWCA to lift up all of those women doing that work, whether it's in the area of science and technology, in STEM careers, whether it's advocating for equality and working in the trenches in a shelter, or advocating for children's rights, or if it's someone who's dedicated their entire life and being recognized for a lifetime of service. So we have 13 different categories, and we're just hopeful people are willing to either watch virtually, or if they know someone, come out that evening and sit at that table. We're going to be socially distanced and practice good social distancing and all the recommendations that have come along with some health professionals who've made some recommendations to us. So we're hopeful. Go out to our website, ywcacasclay.org, and all the information's there.
Where is the event on the 26th?
It's at the Delta.
Okay. It's at the Delta.
Yep, it's at the...
And Erin, there are people, and we're getting played off the stage, Erin. It's always that clock, isn't it? So, Erin, there are people listening to us right now who are thinking, hey, so and so should be nominated, or I know a woman who should be nominated. How does somebody get over that fear of, well, I don't know if I should nominate them or not? How do you know if it's right to nominate somebody?
Well, what I would tell you is there's a really great question and answer section on our website about the categories and what information is necessary. And what I would tell you is that everyone deserves it. If you're thinking that they need to be honored, the likelihood of them needing to be honored is there.
Okay.
So reach out to us. We have an info line. info@ywcacastclay.org is the email address. Or there's a specific Woman of the Year, which for short, we all have acronyms for all sorts of different things, but WOTY, WOTY at YWCA.org is that email address if you have questions about that. Oftentimes what we do is send reminders out to folks saying, hey, you emailed us or contacted us saying this person should be nominated and recognized. Email me when it's time to nominate them, and that's what we do.
Erin, I'd like to end our interviews every time we get a chance to talk by wrapping up this way. There's so many people that want to help, just don't know exactly what to do. So one of the best ways that everyone can help the YWCA all the time is when you're at the grocery store, pick up a couple of extra items. When you're at the CVS, pick up a couple extra items and drop them off at the YW on South University Drive. Erin, what do you guys need dropped off?
We always need those food products, whether it's peanut butter or packaged meals. But the other thing I would tell you is just like throughout the pandemic, the things that other people couldn't get their hands on are the same things that we need each and every day in the shelter and our housing programs, and that's toilet paper, Kleenexes, paper towels, and cleaning products. So those are the most urgently needed things right now.
Cash is always popular, too, but if you'd like to...
we would love that, but, sometimes people really feel fulfilled by, dropping off some paper towels and some Mr. Clean, and we can use it all. So whatever fulfills you the most and wants to, encourage you to give back to the community and help those who've, experienced things that most of us can't imagine in our lives. We're there to help every hour of every day, and that's only possible because people in our community care.
Well spoken by the CEO of the YWCA, Erin Prochnow, joining us today. Woman of the Year nominees are in. The Woman of the Year banquet is coming up on the 26th. Hope you'll all get involved. And Erin, one more time, the website where everybody can get all their information.
YWCAcastclay.org.
Erin Prochnow, CEO of the YW. Erin, thanks so much. Hope you have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Take care. KFGO time is 4:23. You're listening to The Drive with Dan Michaels on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.
You're listening to The Drive with Dan.